Page 37, Jenny Link Polka. Okay. Top of the page, there you got a thing, poco a poco. Back to the Italian. Means little by little. Well, that's just clear as mud. It gradually, as if we haven't had gradually before. It just very gradually, I think, is what it really is. I'll come back to the gradually stuff later. Let's just get the notes and the fingering for rhythms first. 2/4 time, 1 sharp. We're in the key of G major. So do the scale on G major, 2 octaves up and down. And while you're at it, do the scale on E minor, 2 octaves up and down, because it also has 1 sharp. Right hand first. Let's just cover. It's got 8th notes and 16th notes. 1 and 2 and, or 1 e and a 2 e and a. So here, 1 thumb here, and then here. And you can do this 5-4-5 if you want. It's good practice. I don't recommend it. I would use 3. I can do a 5 and a 3 easier and quicker than a 5 and a 4. I'll leave it up to you. You can, if after you play the first beat, you can go with a 4-3 or 4-2. There are different fingerings for this. You experiment and find one that works for you. So again, at the beginning you're here, and that's 1 and 2 and 2 e and a 2 e and a. I'm too lazy to count all that. I just 2 and it's here. 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So and then once you get that, you just feel it. You don't count it anymore. So the second line is 1 and 2 and. It's similar to the first line, but they put in 16th notes plus their hearts. So it's a 1. And I do 1-4 there at the last measure of the first line. Go on. Third line is here. And now they're saying 5. I'm saying no. This is, it's fun. Try it out. Try it if you want. It's just, in my opinion, poor fingering. I don't want to go from here to here that on a quick piece. This is a quick piece if I don't have to, and I don't have to. I'm going to do a 2-1. I'm just staying here, and then when I get down here, then I can do a 3. So it's, and then here 2, 1, 3. See, and I'd 4, 2, 3. So just, it's a sequence going down. We've had this throughout. I'm trying to use the same fingering for each iteration of this. And in the third line, it's 4-2. Like so. That's all. And then for the last line, well, if you want, in the third line, the last note, here, you use thumb if you want. This way, you just reach up to an octave. You're ready to go on for the... Then it's fun. These get better and better, don't they? Now, we need a pattern. This, again, we're going to do this. And if I can find a fingering I can use for each of those, I'll use it. Unfortunately, in this case, it doesn't work out. The black notes aren't cooperating here. So the last line, the fingering I'm going to suggest is here at the beginning, the last line, there, cross over, I'm going to say second finger, and then 2, 3, and then here, I'm going to come down, second finger, or third finger actually, just come down 1. Here, if you can't do that, then you got to use thumb again and cross over again. I'll leave that up to you, but that fingering sort of works out. Now, when you get down to the bottom, you got to go back up to the top, which is here. So if you want to end the bottom, second finger, that way your thumb is available. Otherwise, you use the thumb, you got to use it here again. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's just a more dangerous fingering. I prefer to connect to you if I can. Left hand, broken chords. Just the 1 and the 5/7 chord. You get onto the third line, we're down here with the C chords. the F sharp, it's in the key signature. Put the hands together slowly, just remember, connect everything here if you can. Did I say slowly? Oh well, forget that, I guess. Let's go down to the third line here. You gradually work it out, get rid of the hesitations. You can go as slow as you need to go, but just the beat needs to be a steady. We need to feel these eighth notes. 1 and 2. It's got to be a steady beat at some speed. Then we can add in the articulation. On the right hand, you got slurs and staccatos. In the left hand, I'm just going to suggest you connect everything unless it's staccato or repeated notes. So it's here. I'm going to connect that. You don't have to. You can disconnect them if you want. It's a polka. It needs to bounce. You can do that if you want. Can you bounce in one hand and not in the other at the same time? Good luck, but I'll leave that up to you. Otherwise, just connect it. So far, it's a bouncy thing. You have to experiment. Then you have the dynamics. That's the right hand. It's so moderately loud. Whatever you think moderately loud is. You keep the left hand soft. And then the second line, poco al poco. Well, there's our little friend again. Crescendo. It means little by little crescendo, which means gradually get louder. Very gradually get louder. You're going to go from medium loud to very loud, and you can take the whole line to do it. Well, you got to plan it out, or you'll be very loud by the next measure. The first measure, the second line is just going to stay medium loud. Actually, there'll be the first two measures of basically staying medium loud. Come up to loud, loud. And that accent on that, I would make that right really loud. I don't know that you need an accent on it. The point is they want the quarter note louder than the eighth notes in that last measure of the second line. Here. And then all of a sudden, you come down to soft. And the left hand's very soft. After you've been really super duper loud, you're going to get very soft. All of a sudden. Last line we get that poco al poco crescendo, and we're going to go up to loud. So you plan it out. I'm soft at the first measure at the last line. I can come up just a hair, up a little more, loud, which makes the accent note very loud. So I did it a measure at a time. I just went up a little bit for each measure is all. And then you go after you're loud at the bottom. You go down a little bit, you're back. When you go to the top, you're medium loud again. Then when you get all that mess figured out, then you can add the speed. Con vivo means with fast, with really fast, with really fast. It's faster than allegro. People are going to dance. This is a happy party type polka. Something eventually people are dancing to it, and the key word there is dance. Anytime people are moving to the music, like in a march or a dance or something, it's very important to keep a steady speed, a steady beat. You don't want to mess them up. If they're moving to the music, don't mess them up, because if you do something like that, wait, they're out there falling all over themselves. It's fun though. Then they've added pedal. Well, you don't need pedal in this piece because this is a light bouncing piece. But the pedal will add a little bit of color, a little bit of change, contrast to these passages. Here, these things. It just adds a little bit. It's an effect. And that's one of the reasons we use pedal, is to add effects, to change the tone just a little bit for the effect. And because this is a fast piece, you got to push the pedal down pretty much with the keys and then lift it up immediately so you get the staccatos. So in that second measure, it's here. I'm going to push it down with them, and I'm going to lift it up with them. So it's... Here, it just adds it. Going on. And then the roadmap of where you go, when do you go, where you have a DC al fine at the bottom. DC means go back to the beginning. All right. Al fine means go to fine. If you look at the end of the second line, there's a fine and a thin and thick bar line. Remember, the thin and thick bar line is the symbol for the end of the piece. It's where the piece ends. So you play all 4 lines and then go back up and do the first 2 lines again. That's all. It's... I'd like to play this with you very, very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I will do the staccatos and I'll try and pedal it like they're showing. I'll give us 2 counts. Now I put the metronome on 8th notes, so it's beating 8th notes because there's 8th notes all over the place and 16th notes, and we need to take this really slow. So I'll give us 2 beats, that's 2 quarter notes or 4 8th notes, and then we come in. Ready? And go, and 1 and 2.